Hey guys, Johnny Quirk back once again here to support your entrepreneurial journey. Okay, cool. So for regular readers of our Go Solo blog and our YouTube channel viewers here, you'll know that I'm constantly trying to put a positive spin about what the world's going to be like in a post-COVID situation. I mean, if you want an example of this, check out our video, The Unemployment Opportunity, which pretty much sums up my attitude of how we're going to turn a negative into a positive. But really, what a lot of people aren't talking about right now is that even in a great world of great uncertainty, of deep recession, of growing unemployment and bearish attitudes to personal wealth, the stock market continues to rally. For what it's worth, I've been hearing now for 2 to 3 years that there was going to be a correction on the course. That was basically going to be happening very, very soon. And although there was a slight blip, obviously at the start of COVID, kind of like all those kind of like losses have become big gains now, and the stock market has never been in a healthier position. So what does this kind of mean for the 99% of us on planet Earth? And is there a big transfer of wealth actually happening right now? So it's kind of, not hard to explain too much about what's happening, because actually the stock market is not a representation of independent kind of economies around the world. It's not a representation of the outlook for small businesses or entrepreneurs. What it is it's a representation of the big businesses which make up the stock market and how bullish they feel for their kind of current and future outlook. So even though a V-shaped recovery has actually taken place on the stock market, it's going to take a lot longer for that actually to happen when it comes to independent nations, when it comes to the local economies. That kind of is not going to be V-shaped at all. So big business is going to thrive through the pandemic. It kind of already has. It's, you read about it in the newspapers every day. But this is actually going to be happening more and more at the expense of local retailers, smaller hospitality venues, and independent service-based business who just don't actually have the resources to compete with the scale of bigger global or national players. Like I said, they can operate at scale. They can actually kind of, they're much better kind of resource. They've got kind of like higher capitalization. They can thrive through those tough times. And really, if you look at the kind of trends over the past 60 years, people have been shopping less and less at independent stores and moving towards the supermarkets. Over the last, say, 20 years, people have been doing a lot more kind of shopping on the internet. So this kind of movement has been happening, but obviously COVID has moved things on even more than that. So big business as well, this isn't some kind of, video today where I'm kind of bashing big business. They do what they're kind of going to do, but they really do have a ruthless predatory streak in them as well, because they sense right now, this is their big opportunity to kind of gain market share in what is the wild west of coronavirus. They can discount the hardest, they can lobby the loudest, and really, they can kind of make sure that they're excluded from these kind of regulatory policies, which really have tried to stop them from operating. So they're in high expansion mode right now. They realize they can pick up market share at a fraction of the kind of cost it would cost them during normal time. I also just want to give a quick shout out to the individual as well, because on a smaller level, wealth transfer is actually taking place as well. Because if you think about it, your average Joe, you're kind of like, normal man and woman in the street, your kind of middle classes, people who maybe have been made unemployed or actually going to get caught up in the recession, they're the ones who are also being squeezed. Maybe they had savings, maybe they had small portfolios, but they are actually now going into survival mode, and they're the ones who are actually having to pay for it, whether that's going to be through their taxes, or whether that's basically going to be because they haven't been able to earn for a certain amount of time. So that's now obviously giving the opportunity for wealthy individuals to try and snap up kind of assets at a low price, especially with interest rates being so low. So even though today I want to talk more about big business, this kind of wealth transfer is actually happening across the kind of individual sphere as well. More and more people, even if they ran small businesses or were solo entrepreneurs, they're kind of losing out because actually their businesses may be failing. They haven't been able to kind of open for a long time, and they are the squeezed middle, which you constantly hear about as well. Okay, this might be an oversimplification of things, but, I'm not going to make this a 40-minute kind of, analysis of kind of all this. But I think in a perverse way as well, the crazy thing is actually big business is only going to get strengthened because, again, the people who've been affected by COVID are trying to kind of, buy stuff for the cheapest amount they can do. They're also looking for convenience. They're looking to kind of go to maybe one store to do their shopping as opposed to 5 because it's dangerous out there on the streets. And who knows when that kind of recovery, even though a vaccine is about to happen, is going to come. So I can't really do today's kind of video without mentioning probably the most public face of kind of like somebody who's prospered through COVID, and that's Jeff Bezos. I think, obviously he's an easy target. I'm not even using Amazon as a target, but as a good example, I think what he's managed to do in 25 years at Amazon has been incredible. So he's kind of being able to, really, I'm a big fan of that book Sapiens. I don't know if you guys have read it, but again, it's all about the human journey over the last 500,000 years and how we've kind of got to where we are right now. But basically, what Jeff Bezos has done is a bit like how humans have done and our human ancestors, is by hacking natural ecosystems to get to the top. We've used our brains to kind of get there. And really what they're doing is they're using their horizontal one-size-fits-all approach to be able to go into different numerous markets and product categories and start to own that. They start with books, but they've got scale, they've got speed, they've got cost, they've got convenience, they've got few physical assets and a COVID-proof business model, which actually makes sure they're actually perfect for COVID because you can get anything delivered to your door, and through using an amazing e-commerce platform, which is just so simple and just literally shows you everything you kind of need to buy. So even though they were making massive market gains and market share, they've also been able to kind of win kind of customers' kind of wallets, maybe not their hearts and minds fully, but definitely their wallets over the last few months, and probably gained a lot more than probably would have maybe taken them a few more years to have done. The same is happening right now with other tech giants. Look at Apple, look at Google. Apple One is out now, bundling lots of things together, almost like cutting out the kind of small guys. Costco, go there, do everything under one roof. So this kind of consolidation is happening at pace, people. And we kind of really need to be aware of this because, again, this is the way the world's going. It's not all doom and gloom, I'm pleased to say. So although your local restaurant may struggle to survive, although those mom and pop stores and convenience stores may go, even though kind of like, that independent yoga studio down the street has been fighting survival for many reasons over the last year. Maybe that's because of lack of government support. Maybe it's kind of like due to kind of high rent and little reduction. Maybe it's just because their customers don't feel comfortable going to their place and actually socially distancing. Those guys, unfortunately, are going to be fighting to survive even more over the next 12 to 18 months. But I actually do think there's a positive coming. I had to kind of put a positive in there today, I hope you know. And that's because actually, it's not all doom and gloom, because I am a, half full guy, a glass half full guy. I think there is an opportunity here for a start again, because I think people, vast majority of customers, as we kind of go into more of a homogenized, chainy world, we don't want to kind of live in an average place where everything is one size fits all. We do want the opportunity basically to kind of like support independence. We do want to be able to support people in our local community. We kind of like also want some of the things that big business can't offer, like niceties, like experience, like customer service. And these are the things that big business have actually driven down over the years in obviously pursuit of that kind of healthy profit margin as well. So customers in the future are going to vote with their feet and wallets. They're the ones who are actually going to also kind of vote and hopefully have their hearts and minds, and really kind of hopefully build the planet they want to be a part of. In my thoughts, it could well be that actually not shopping independently or kind of like, not shopping local could actually be a societal issue in the future, up there with things like, smoking indoors is seen as outrageous nowadays. But 15, 20 years ago, it was the norm. It's like driving a gas guzzler. You're literally kind of, being, literally told no more gas, no more petrol. We want to kind of go to hybrid. So maybe it's going to be one of these things that, it becomes a societal issue. That if you don't shop local, you don't shop independent. And that's a bad thing to do. And, I'm a big believer that the fight back is going to be happening here. And it's going to be a big political statement to do it. Again, opportunity, great big new industries might come out, and we potentially are going to be looking at a lot of empowered global micro entrepreneurs who say, well, I don't have a job anymore. I don't like the way the world's going and I'm going to do it. And maybe they will take action as a collective. I'm going to do everything I can to support them. And I think, this actually movement will start to happen very, very soon. So although COVID-19 has sped up the decline of traditional industries and it's accelerated trends that were happening anyway, this huge wealth transfer is happening and it's going to happen. But you know what? There is always a reaction in life to extreme things that happen. And I'm very, very excited to see how small businesses, solo entrepreneurs are actually going to adapt to that. Maybe even they get organized, they can unite and strategize together to take these on. I will be spending my money with more and more independence in the future, and I hope you will be. And I hope you'll also be creating those businesses for people to spend their money in as well. Entrepreneurs, we can build that future together, and I hope you're with me on this. Have a great day. Speak soon. Cheers. Bye.